are going in a conversation with Miss Archana Surana. Ma'am is the founder and the director of Arts Institute, Jaipur, and she has carried forward this legacy since 20 years. This institute started in 2000. She initiated it, and she has been running it successfully for 20 years now. Not only this, she has been a vivid speaker and a mentor to many through her Women's Mentor Forum and a lot of different things that she keeps indulging in to promote the crafts, to promote sustainable fashion and everything. So as we get in a conversation with her, she would direct us and tell us about what designing is, what is the future of designing, and what kind of things are we looking at. So I would just dig into our conversation today, and I would throw my first question that you have worked extensively as a mentor and a speaker for different platforms like Women Mentors Forum, or is it an Arch? So, what is that aspect about mentoring that you find most fascinating?
Okay, so I was mentored by a Fortune CEO. And study and researchers say that women who are mentored are likely to become mentors. And I was a mentee on an international program, which was a program of the US State Department, the Fortune magazine, and Vital Voices Global Partnerships. So this is
Yeah.
one of the largest NGOs on the planet working for women. So in the year 2007, I got to represent India. And it was such a fortunate time for me to really understand women power, because there was little relatedness that I had with women until then. So
Yeah.
I was amidst, 32 women from 22 different countries. And then came the Global Ambassadors Program, which again, Vital Voices got into my life. So I found my mentor, Geraldine Lebon. At that point of time, I was struggling with my business, right? And there were a lot of challenges that I was going through in terms of scaling it up and
Yeah.
consolidation. So she actually helped me set in my goals. She's a media icon in the United States. Yeah. And you,
Yeah.
as young kids, you've all seen the Nickelodeon channel, right? She's the lady behind it, Oxygen
Oh
Media.
wow.
Yeah, so she and Opera were partners there, and they
Okay.
started with the Oxygen Media. So, so I have very closely experienced being a mentee. So I realize how important it is to have a mentor in one's life. Though this was
Absolutely.
something that came, as men, I've already had mentors, but having a women mentor was something that was really opened up a whole new world for me. And that's how the Women Mentors Forum started, and I started doing the global mentoring walks. So it's been 10 years. We've been doing it in Jaipur. So it's been 3 years. We did with the FICCI Ladies organization in Delhi as well. So, and we've started one in Udaipur too. So it's been quite an interesting time, really connecting with women who want to invest in the next generation of younger women. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Great, ma'am. So, is this how also the Women's Mentors Forum also took initiative under your care?
So in the year 2014, when Bank of America was globally sponsoring a couple of the mentees from the Global Leadership Network, I was fortunate to get a sponsorship and, so a grant to get it big. So we had 150 women professional leaders and entrepreneurs from the city who got together, and young women like you. So we were mentors and mentees. So young women like you are like mentees, and we share our experience like what we're doing right now. And
Yeah.
you get to learn from a mentee who has new age understanding, is looking at a new future. So it's always a give and take relationship. It's not like a mentor does something to a mentee. It's
Absolutely.
equally beneficial in terms of a sharing bond.
Yes, yes. I think I connect with you and I agree with you. I am a design student and I'm currently studying in Bangalore right now. So all the mentors over there, they constantly keep nudging us, saying that, don't see us as just mentors. We are more than that. We are the future practitioners and they are already practicing in this field. So we have so much to connect over that. that it's beyond understanding, I feel sometimes.
Yep.
So, ma'am, 20 years of experience in arts as the founder and the director. You must have experienced a lot lots and lots of hands experience. So, what are some fun insights you would like to share with us first?
So the first fun was that, so like you said, Bangalore. So I was in Delhi. So my education took place in there. And I chose to get married in Jaipur.
Wow,
So that was the fun part. Yeah. So
Jaipur is
though
the
I do belong to Rajasthan, but for me, Rajasthan was the sand dunes, the dry, the arid region. So for me, a green, lush with lakes or water bodies around wasn't Rajasthan to me. So it was quite fascinating for me to choose, Jaipur. I was fortunate to get married into a family of professionals where, my mother-in-law, she's a professor in German language, and my sister-in-law also in Mumbai University. So, that was the right time when I saw an opportunity where I could also create, something truly valuable. And as a young girl, like when I was your age, my ambition was to be self-reliant, have women be self-reliant. And I
absolutely.
was always looking for an opportunity, though when I came from a business background, there was not much inspiration that I had in terms of now you are in a different age, right? Where,
Yeah,
you would be actually said that you go ahead and do something and start your entrepreneurial venture. So 20 years, starting very small with just 2 rooms in my from my residence apartment premises, the rented part that we used to give. It's been quite a satisfying journey. And the fun part is that, it was like so much of play. And together we co-created so much because I knew nothing, right? None of us knew anything. So we would sit down, we used to talk, we used to laugh, we used to do something, we used to come back, and it all just happened. Yeah. So for me, every
yeah.
day was an important day. Yeah.
And what initiated this journey? You wanting to establish arts as an institute for designers and fashionistas.
No, I never thought of anything like this, that I'm ever going to start a fashion school or something. Yes, I was deeply connected with art and craft. So I used to go to the Suraj Kund Mela or go to the INR, the INA market there. So, I had a ever since I was a young girl, my mother used to open her trunks and show me all the things of her, our dadi and nani. And I used to love them like anything. So I had a
Yeah,
great fascination for fabrics and textiles and colors, especially. So, that's it. So I just thought maybe something I might do in my life, to be self-reliant, but never thought that I would be actually, having a design school or something like this. It was just that the academic environment that I found in my family
yeah,
that inspired me to actually get into academics. And while I was a practitioner by heart, and I was do everything hands-on, so I tried education hands-on. So for me today also, education is not about borrowed knowledge. It's about doing it yourself and exploring what education would truly mean for you.
absolutely, absolutely. So I would ask a fun question. When I say the word art, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
See, when I look at art, art is the inner self. And when I look at science, science is the outer self, the self extended in the outer. So, art is an expression of your feelings, your emotions, your moods, your aspirations, your
Yeah.
dreams, your inspiration, your imagination. So, it's all about the self when I look at art.
Do you think art and science go together then?
Yes, yes. So there's science which is completely embedded into art. And while people like to acknowledge science and
Yeah.
art is something only what they can feel, but the moment you connect it with science, the whole purpose of art comes very real to people. So people who do not feel probably art is, alien from them, the whole connection comes together the moment you bring it with science.
Yes. Absolutely, ma'am. Talking about connection and people who might feel alienated with art, what do you think are some essentials of being a design practitioner in today's era?
So your question is, what are the essentials of being a design practitioner?
Yes, in the contemporary era, today we are seeing the world change. We are seeing practices, new practices being embedded. We are seeing sustainability. We are seeing responsible fashion. So, what are some, must-have design practitioners' to-do list, or just things they should take care in mind?
See, I would again go back the moment you're talking about essentials. The first thing is, what is your purpose in life? So if
Yeah.
you've not distinguished your purpose, forget about design, right? So your own purpose, your intention, what do you want to deliver? What do you relate with? What do you connect with? That's important. Essentials will keep changing over a period where people might find something that's coming from the external world. But altogether, if you're looking at any kind of creation or any type of, professional engagement or any kind of connect that you want to create, it all is about your own purpose. So if your purpose is what you connect with, then only will you find clear essentials. So, you might, sustainability is not something new. Gandhiji talked about sustainability. Our Vedas talked about sustainability. Our
Yes.
Vipassana talks about, so everything, sustainability has already been there. So it's not a new thing, right? You talking about a circular economy, it's not a new thing. India and all the nations in the past and all circular in nature. Now we're talking about is with somewhere in
Yes.
the whole commercial and the materialized world, we have lost on these values, right? And it's more about again following people, right? What does the world say? So जैसे आपने पूछा ना essentials क्या होते हैं? It's again a to-do list. So I think none of us need to do that. It's just about
Yeah.
connecting with your purpose and your intention. If you are there, you'll find all the essentials.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, what are your essentials then?
See, as I said, my essentials is to keep revisiting my own purpose.
Yeah.
And my purpose is to have, make a difference to people's lives, be self reliant, have others around me be self reliant. And while we're talking about economic empowerment, that's very important when it comes to women, and especially even about men today. And it's
Yes.
about, that you finding your dream come true and what one can do for it. And I think every journey is different, and every person is a different learner. So, you know the whole idea is of co-creation. The idea is to bring together, come together, reflect, and as and when you find your part, people will move out, right? But the point is
Absolutely.
coming together.
Great, ma'am. Um, so moving on, right now, given the COVID crisis, first I would like to know how are you doing? How are you dealing with everything around, with the lockdown, with the colleges not that are not open right now? So how are you doing with everything?
Okay, so I love challenges.
Okay.
So good for me. So I think there's an opportunity. The moment you have a challenge, you have an opportunity for some kind of creation. So that's the opportunity that I am seeing. So things that I could not see when everything looked great. Everything was in a system. But boring ho gaya tha, So even if something wanted to break, so you couldn't break the pattern. So all the
Yeah.
patterns, old patterns are break. So now you can create anything new. So that's what I see as an opportunity.
Absolutely. So what new opportunities are you seeing for Arch College right now?
Okay. So, as soon as the lockdown started, from the very second week, we started doing the webinars. We did around 29. For the last 1 month, we didn't do anything. We said, wow, we've achieved so much. So the idea was to bring people, have conversations, what everybody
Yeah.
thinks about. So right from Alok Nandi, who is the IXDA president, the User Interaction Design Association president, to Pradumna Vyas, Professor Pradumna Vyas, who's the former director of NIT. We brought them on panel. We had Katrina Perez from London talking about the jewelry industry, blogging, how people need to find their identity. We had Himanshu Vardhan, who runs an e-commerce platform. So, you know, talking and chatting with such people, Wajid Ali Khan, who is Forbes, he's on the Forbes cover page and is the Da Vinci of this era for, you know. So it's very interesting when you talk to people from different backgrounds, hear them out, know their
Yes.
perspective. So the whole idea was to bring a lot of conversation. We did connect with our alumni a lot. So we had conversations. We got our present students and the people who are looking at options and opportunities in design and our alumni together. So, you know, because there's a lot of uncertainty in the air, so everybody felt whether I should take up this career or not. अच्छा अब तो graduate हो रही हूँ, करूँ कि नहीं करूँ, होगा कि नहीं होगा, क्या होगा. So people have a lot of doubts. So when you share, when you talk, you know, a lot of your doubts get sorted out rather than, you know. So कई बार जब हम within होते हैं तो कई बार outward भी होना जरूरी होता है. Right?
Absolutely.
So we took that opportunity of doing all this right now. So right now, you know, we've already been very digital. So I still remember when we had the Gujar Kand that was going on. So the railway tracks were broken and all that thing happened. So we developed our online entrance examination in the year 2011. So we were the first in the country to start an online entrance exam. So anyway, our process was already in place. So we didn't have any problem. So we have a creative ability test, a general ability test, we have video portfolios, interaction that was anyway going on. So right now what we're doing is, so we very soon, I'm also as the Dean at the Rajasthan Skills University, which is India's first skills university. So the very first week I got all the affiliate centers to look at how they could take classes on Zoom. And so because I did a session with them, so they got the familiarity and then they all got onto it. So these are smaller centers based in Udaipur, Ajmer, Bhilwara, and these places. So the idea is while you're empowered, you actually help others also, you know, go up the ladder. So yes, the digitization and the standardization. So we have an LMS system and all these things are there. It's just that, you know, we got more time to focus on it. So as we are taking on online classes already, we've started with this session. So definitely there's going to be a lot of troubleshooting that is going to go on. Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am. You know, creativity never stops at a limitation. Creativity, you know, just always finds another way. And I think Vinny Jain agrees with me. And and uh, and yes. So moving on, we have also read that you're into a lot of meditational practices like Vipassana and other sorts of healing. So would you like to share some of your experiences with us?
Yes, it has helped me grow as a human being a lot. So while I belong to the Jain sect, Therapanth, so I have seen, you know, a lot of fasting take place in my family environment. So I did do 15 days, 9 days, thrice 8 days of fasting, which is all about, you know, you just being on water, and after sunset you don't take water as well. So I'm glad that I could do that in my younger days. Younger in the sense, last 15 days I did some 7 years back, some 6 years back. And yes, pranic healing, definitely I've done various levels of it. So I've seen the miraculous results of it, understanding energy body, understanding the energy of different entities and you as a cosmic being, and how you can actually harness the power of energy for your own personal well-being and growth. So I have practiced that and I've seen miraculous results, right? But now I don't practice as such, but yes, I'm into Vipassana. I've done 5 times and I've been on the 10-day courses to Satipathan. And I'm really fortunate that everybody inside the college, we start a day with Anapan meditation every day, 10 minutes of Anapan. And that's how we start our classes, our faculty, everybody's clued into it. So we've seen a lot of our foreigners, foreign faculty who comes here, they generally take up a Vipassana course before they go back to their own countries. So I'm really happy that, and I attract a lot of Vipassana practitioners. That's also a very interesting thing. So, a lot of our faculty have been on Vipassana programs. So, I feel it's the purest form of meditation that can actually bring enlightenment. Yeah. So I feel very bad when I'm not doing it. So, and if I talk about it and I'm not doing it on a regular basis, I feel a little small. It makes me small. So yes,
Yes.
all these have helped me become, maybe know life better, because I'm completely self-taught. I don't read books. Now I do maybe, but in my past as a when I was before 40, I just read magazines and I used to read articles, but I never have ever read a book in my life until the age of 40.
Wow.
Yeah, I would just read pages. कहीं से भी बुक खोल करके मैं कभी भी 3 पेज पढ़ लूंगी, 5 पेज पढ़ लूंगी, but I've never gone through a book. So my first book that I read in my life was The Family and the Nation by Kalam Sahab and Acharya Mahapragya ji. And they jointly wrote this book. So that was my first book that I'd ever read. And I was so fortunate after reading this book. Kalam Sahab gave me an award, a Yuva Icon Award. Look at how cosmic things fall in place. Huh? So that was the fun part.
Though I'm sure the stories of the Yuva Icon Award are different from your first book. Would you like to tell something about that award, though?
So there's this NGO Yuva Unstoppable. They are based out of Gujarat from Ahmedabad. Amitabh Shah, he's a Yale, pass out, and he came to India. He had some great ideas. He brought Kalam Sahab on board as an advisor, and we supported him in Rajasthan to have young people like you who became volunteers. So they had 1 lakh young people in the country who were volunteering with them, and they on the whole act of kindness, right? So today
Yeah.
they create these toilets, refurbish them completely in the government schools with a lot of corporate funding. So they were the ones who actually got me this award with Kalam Sahab ke haath se.
Okay. Great, great. So, ma'am, I heard that you mentioned something about inclusivity and in terms of our practices. Would you like to emphasize more on that? Because as we move forward, being inclusive in our environment that is dynamic is really very important. So, if you could share your insights on this. Hello?
Sorry, I think I lost you a bit because
Yeah.
it just flickered from the Wi-Fi to the 4G. So
Okay.
you asked me a question around inclusivity and
Yes.
how I'm trying to
Um,
bring it inside the
exactly.
at Arch, right? So we are very interdisciplinary in our approach right from the beginning. So okay, all these words came to me much later in my life, but because I was a self-taught person myself, and I realized that being interdisciplinary is the only way to bring the best as a solution. And education, because life is not, lateral.
Exactly.
Uh, the whole holistic approach to life is very important. And the moment you try and make education inclusive in terms of working with the community, understanding and being sensitive to the needs of your surroundings, you're looking at, how different streams of education go hand in hand with each other. So it's very important that, education needs to address a much larger need of a human being than
Yes.
just degrees, right? And if I didn't have a degree, I'm here, then I feel degree is not any reason for anybody to take education. And
Absolutely.
education is an ongoing process. It's an ongoing learning. And I think that's what everybody should look at. So within Arch, as when you look at, though, I was taught in fashion, I did my fashion design from a polytechnic, South Delhi Polytechnic in Delhi. And then I was teaching there, and then I came to Jaipur city. I was the first person to start a course in jewelry design. You know, how did jewelry come into my life? I had not done jewelry, but I realized that Jaipur है, यहाँ तो gemstones है, यहाँ तो लोग हैं, यहाँ तो कारीगर है, और कोई jewelry design नहीं है. तो जितना कुछ समझ में आता था हमने jewelry design शुरू कर दिया. And it's been 20 years. We are one of the topmost in the country in jewelry design.
Wow.
And our graduates are placed in the best companies. You know, I don't want to name the companies right now, you know, because they want to keep it as a secret that they have students from Arch. Yeah, but they are at the design team heads, 5 to 10, talk about the big names, any big name that you want to name. So it's very interesting that, you know, it started from fashion, jewelry, interiors, we have product design, we have graphic design. Graphics, something that goes into everything. So, and we have an ecosystem in the campus where we have all these labs, the terracotta, natural dyes, weaving, metal making, furniture, woodwork, graphic studios, Mac labs, 3D printing, laser cutting, everything is available to every student. So that makes it very interesting. So they can use any technique in their design ideas. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just got a feedback from a couple of students. बोलते campus बड़ा नहीं है. मैंने कहा भैया तुमको शहर के बीच में you getting a campus which is in a half an acre, which is 65,000 square meters of, you know, space, and still young people would go out, you know, and they say कि भाई अच्छा तो ऐसा कि तुम लोगों को दीवारें पसंद है, यूनिवर्सिटी कोई बड़ी बड़ी हो जिसमें खूब सारी walls हो, and you can just keep strolling there. And here you have a compact space where everything is available and you feel it small. So it's very interesting.
I completely connect to that. I think I completely connect to that. I used to go to Xavier's, Hatroi Fort, and we have a very small and compact space in the campus. And now that we are moving to NEFTA, and NEFTA has this huge acres of land, and you know we can move freely, but there's no connect between people, because in a compact place, you know, we can meet our mentors, like we are going from one place and people are coming and meeting us. But in a huge place, that's not possible, I feel.
I'll tell you a story. When I moved into the big campus that we have now in Malviya Nagar, so the students who were with me in a building which had just 2-3 floors and maybe must be around 10,000 square feet or something, and they said, "Ma'am, कितना मजा आता था वहाँ पे, यहाँ नहीं आता." I mean, it's very interesting, you know. Human beings are like this.
Yeah.
You know, whatever they have, they're never satisfied with that.
Yes.
At times, we like to things which are very small, and then we like to see things which are very big.
Yes, yes. I see, ma'am, you have mentioned education very profoundly, and you believe in this very strongly because you yourself come from a very academic background. But given the current crisis, you know, how things are moving around, education is being considered as non-essential in the non-essentials items. So, what's your take on that? And how would you like to deal with this?
Okay, first of all, you said I'm academic, right? So, are you talking out academic from the sense of degrees? Then sorry, maybe not many of them. And yes, if you're saying academic in the sense that I have been contributing to designing courses and facilitating education, getting a bachelor's in design approved, or being at the dean, yes, I am academic. And you saying that academic has become non-essential? Wow, that's good news. Yeah.
Okay.
तो मुझे तो अभी भी लगता है कि लोगों के लिए essential item है, which is like when you say education as degrees, people still find it as an essential item. But if people had to say education is for a purpose, education is for an intention to fulfill, education has a vision to fulfill, right? I would love to hear those kind of things. Huh? And whatever comes to you at the end is a degree that you're happy about. But what is important is to be able to distinguish that who you are, your purpose, and it constantly drives you for action, right? That's what I feel education is all about. Making a difference to yourself and people around you. your extension of the self in the world. That's what I call as education.
That's a new definition we are gonna add
So
on
where
for
did this
sure.
come from? Where did you get this that education has become a non-essential item?
Because given the lockdown situations, and we had the essential services going on, but education was put on a hold, because even in my college we had a stop phase, a pause, a big pause, and we have yet to start our courses back. So this pause, I think, has been quite disturbing on so many levels, because education is something even I connect with, has a purpose. We have learning, we have a flow that should not be broken. So this pause is something that has been troubling me. And so
I have to say here that we have not stopped at all. Rather, we've done more. So if we would have actually closed the session in the month of May, we actually extended it until June. We brought them master classes. We brought them conversations so that they don't go into the realm of where they are, not excited enough. So it's
yeah,
important to keep your energy levels, up, completely looking forward to a new future that you have to create. So this is an opportunity for you to completely be hands-on, in the sense that what we did was, we've started our classes. Our regular classes have already started. And why we
yes,
did was because we don't want our students to be in that phase where they feel left out. So we started our
absolutely,
classes much earlier. I'd still not say we generally start in the first week of July for our old students. So we've done that. We've done a pre-foundation course already for our students to make sure that we keep them occupied, right? With
yes,
creative thinking, with productive thought process. Already they're getting to know other people whom they've not known. So the idea is to, so I truly feel that presently this is the most important time for education. And
yes,
today, if you're looking at essential, yes, it's essential because parents are requested by everybody to pay their fee to make sure they help the ecosystem to run, to make sure
yes,
that the teachers can be also paid further. So it's not a non-essential item at all. Not at all. It's just that it's become online. We have to change the mindsets of the people, of the parents, the guardians here, that online education is much difficult. I'll tell you why. Difficult, not in the sense, but it requires a huge amount of preparation, good thinking, writing down
yes,
the briefs well, making sure that the outcomes are planned much in advance. So if you are not planned out well, online education is not likely to give you the desired results. So anybody who's thinking that कि भाई ये काम नहीं हो रहा है, वो बैकएंड में टीचर्स को और एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस बहुत काम कर रही है.
जी,
क्योंकि अगर वो काम नहीं करेंगे और वो प्रिपेयर्ड होके नहीं आएंगे तो वो स्टूडेंट्स को सर्व नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो
exactly,
इसीलिए बहुत जरूरी है कि हमें समझना कि एजुकेशन कहीं से भी नॉन एसेंशियल नहीं है. वो खाली ये बोल रहे हैं आप कैंपस में मत जाओ क्योंकि भीड़ में जहाँ रहोगे तो प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. तो आप ऑनलाइन पढ़िए. एंड द बेस्ट थिंग इज यू सी पीपल फेस टू फेस ऑनलाइन. क्लास में 20 बच्चे बैठे, टीचर की नजर भी नहीं जाती उसके इमोशंस क्या चल रहे हैं, उसके थॉट्स क्या चल रहे हैं, फीलिंग्स क्या चल रहे हैं. On a Zoom session or a classroom or a Google Meet or whatever, you can see people face to face. And I
yeah,
find it amazing. Right? Because I have personally taken a lot of training sessions for my staff, because
yes,
this is the time when we do a lot of, brainstorming, a lot of, building on ideas and things. So we use platforms like Mentimeter, we've used the Zoom, meeting rooms. So I think it's very interesting that the online has opened a whole new realm. And I was thinking that young people would be more open to it. So, but you telling me कि सबको campus जाने की इच्छा हो रही है because you're not able to meet your friends, you're not able to hang
um,
out.
that is one of the things, but no, I completely agree with the online system. I'm just in a in a pause, because our institute has not initiated a lot towards it right now. That is the only awe and the pause. But yes, offline and online, they are different. But online learning is also great, I feel. Getting conversations one on one, understanding what the person is going through their expressions or the kind of words they use to speak, is, I think, can be amplified and is getting more refined as people are turning online a lot.
See, it's a time to change mindsets, right? कोरोना एक बीमारी नहीं है, बीमारी तो बहुत सारी ऐसी आती रही हैं और आती रहेंगी और जाती भी रहेंगी, पर
जी.
ये समय आया है जिसको डिसरप्शन का हमें शौक लगा था ना हम सबको कि न्यू आइडिया डिसरप्टिव होना चाहिए, न्यू डिसरप्टिव बिजनेस प्लान. सो नाउ देयर इज अ होल complete disruption. Okay, so that's a whole new opportunity. So I think what is important here is that we all are looking at as a new opportunity for all of us in terms of reinventing the ways we're doing things.
Yes.
A lot of us had gotten very fixed in certain patterns, right? Even if we talk about human evolution, it says whenever you get fixed in a particular way or a pattern, you're not likely to grow.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's a completely 360-degree idea and a plan to reinvent each one of us.
Yes. I completely agree with this, ma'am. We have Darwinian theories coming up, and we have conspiracy theories coming up as well, and psychological theories. What being stale, humans can keep evolving if we keep having intellectual conversations. We keep learning from our environment. We keep ourselves in coordination with the dynamic changes. So I think I completely agree with this. And can you hear me?
Yes.
I thought you were paused.
No. I was probably just looking at a question that
Yeah.
somebody सारे गुरुकुल बंद करवा दिए गए थे, कोई उसकी बात नहीं करता. तो गुरुकुल से इनका मतलब है जो हमारे पुराने तरीके के जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम थी उनकी बात कर रहे हैं ये, और I think उनकी बात कर रहे हैं. Our education was very robust back in 80s at the time of the gurukuls. Yes, we are right, and it's a personal choice whether we want to look at the best practices from the Western world. Western world ने हमको बहुत सिखाया है, हमारे अच्छी चीजें सीखनी है या हमें उनकी हर चीज को हमें नकल करनी है. ये चॉइस तो हमारे पास में है. तो ये जो बुद्धिमत्ता है और ये विजडम तो आई थिंक हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम को रखने की जरूरत है कि हम नकल करें या अकल के साथ नकल करें. तो मेरे लिए तो ये मानना है कि आई थिंक एजुकेशन का काम नकल करना है ही नहीं. तो हमें कभी किसी को फॉलो करने की जरूरत नहीं है. हमारा परिवेश, हमारा समाज, हमारा दायरा, हमारे व्यक्तित्व सबके अलग हैं. तो शायद हर एजुकेशन सिस्टम को, हर इंस्टीट्यूशन को एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि वो अपना व्यक्तित्व के साथ आगे बढ़े.
Thank you so much for this. Has been lovely, ma'am. It was great talking to you.
Same here.